All right, guys, thanks for stopping by again today and checking out the DC show. We're going to continue with our suggestion from G-Matrix Art and doing some more X-Men fan casting. We'll be focusing specifically on the more popular characters from the 1975 giant-size X-Men. Stick around,
baby.
Woo!
All right.
You good?
He's fantastic.
Did I bring the energy? We're good?
You brought it.
Yes.
All right, so the first class of the X-Men get in a little bit of a trouble, and so Xavier recruits a new team, a more diverse team of people to go save them.
Yeah, so the original X-Men gets kind of trapped on Krakoa Island, I believe is how you say it. And Xavier goes and recruits some people from all over the world, starting with someone in Germany.
Yeah, so Nightcrawler, a.k.a. Kurt Wagner.
Yeah, so he's part of like a circus. He's a performer, a little bit of a swashbuckler. He does some pirating on the side. Yeah. Just saying. The townsfolk start to kind of rise up against him as if he's a demon. I mean, he does kind of look like one.
Yeah, he's got the tail. He's got the little kind of creepy face with the pointy ears.
Yeah, so Xavier shows up before they're about to all get into like this big brawl between him and the townsfolk, and he kind of stops them all using his mind and convinces Kurt Wagner to go with him.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my casting for it is Robert Sheehan from the Umbrella Academy. I think he would be a great fit for that. He's amazing in that show, and I think he kind of looks the part. Another person that I thought would be a really good fit, and he's a much bigger actor, is Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. I didn't think about the Robert Sheehan. Is that how you say it? Yeah. I didn't think about him for that role. I did have him on a short list of people for another character we'll talk about later on, but didn't make the cut, although I love his character, Klaus in Umbrella Academy. Yeah. Actually, that show is amazing. My wife and I are really enjoying it. I had initially had Rami Malek as my number one, and then I heard someone suggest Timothée Chalamet, and I was like, oh, man, so he became my number one.
Yeah. And
then I saw Jamie Campbell Bower on the Jimmy Fallon show, the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, he plays number one / Vecna in Stranger Things. And he to me, he just looks the part.
He's a great actor.
He's a really good actor. He's definitely used to the makeup and or prosthetics. I think he'll be fine, having to get into some blue makeup. Nightcrawler's a really cool, interesting character. He's another one that's super empathetic and super nice, generous person, even though he looks like a demon. His powers are pretty cool. He pretty much poof and teleport. I believe he's actually, unless they've retconned this too, he's going through a different dimension when he does that, which is really interesting. He's like transferring through, I think, the Brimstone dimension or something. We have to look it up, and we'll put it down here, the correct name, because I probably got it wrong. But that's who I pick, man. Jamie Campbell Bower. I think any of those would be amazing. Yeah. The chance of them getting Timothée Chalamet right now, I think he's filming Dune right now, part 2 Dune right now. But he would definitely be fine. I would be fine with any of those people getting the role. Yeah. All right, guys. So the next character we're going to be discussing today and fan casting is Peter Rasputin, a.k.a. Colossus. So if you watched our favorite heroes video, you know that he is my favorite superhero. And I'm pretty excited to cast this one. Although, to be honest, it was kind of hard to find someone that can do the role. And I'm hoping that the people we pick are able to get that Russian accent down, because that's going to be the key if you can't find a Russian actor, which was kind of tough. I did actually look for specifically Russian actors. Nice. One I had in mind has already been cast in the MCU, so I had to ditch him off my list. But anyways, so Peter Rasputin, he super polite guy, doesn't like violence. He's an artist. He works on a farm with his family, and he discovers his mutant powers when a runaway tractor is about to take out his sister, Ilyana. And he rushes to stop the tractor by jumping in front of it, and he becomes his metal form and stops it. Like with Kurt Wagner, Xavier shows up to recruit him. He needs him to go help out, and he persuades him after Peter has a discussion with his family and discusses it with his dad and mom, and decides that that's the thing he needs to do to help out. So, who did you decide to cast?
So that it was a little bit tough for me too, but I really liked the character of Colossus in Deadpool. I think in his metal form he looked good. The actor's name is Stefan Kapchik, something like that. I think if they have him as the metal form, I think he will do fine. But obviously we want to see him in his human form too. And I don't think that guy necessarily looks the part as much normally. I'll put a picture up on the screen. But for me, I didn't think he really looked like human form Colossus or Peter.
Yeah.
But another character I did for Cyclops in our last video is Tom Hopper. I think he's a big dude. I think he could easily be Colossus. And the other person I thought would be a great fan casting would be Corey Soto from the DC show. I thought he'd be a good fit.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. So Marvel, if you're listening, he's right here.
Slightly less Russian, but I could probably pull it off.
You can do it.
Yeah, no, those are great ideas. In fact, one of them you have on your list is actually my pick as well. I did struggle, like I said, I was trying to find a good like Russian actor. I really wasn't finding anyone. There was one actor, I can't remember. I don't think he was actually Russian, but we'll have to put his name down below. He ended up being casted in Shang-Chi as Razor Fist, and I was like, man, that'd be really good casting, but he's already in the MCU, so that's not going to work. Then I was thinking Alan Richardson from Reacher. He's a big dude. If you guys have seen the show, he's pretty imposing, and I think he would be able to do a pretty good job. But ultimately, I settled on Tom Hopper as well. Tom Hopper's 6'5". He's pretty ripped and built already. I'm sure he could bulk up more if he wanted to, or if that's the look they're going for.
Sure.
Ultimately, I mean, he grows a lot when he's his metal form. He increases and obviously weight because he's metal, but he just becomes way bulkier and taller. So I think that even in his current state, Tom Hopper can pull off the role.
For sure.
He definitely has that real kind of like
gentle look,
like
gentle
humble.
giant.
Yeah. When he's in human form, that would play really well as Peter Rasputin. I really like what they did with Colossus in Deadpool. It's not my favorite. The issue for me with your casting is simply just that he would need to be able to go back into his human form. I know budget reasons and stuff why they did it the way they did it for Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them really nail Colossus. He definitely wasn't done well in the original Fox X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that done a little bit better, and Tom Hopper's my pick.
There we go. All right. So our next X-Men casting is going to be Aurora Monroe, aka Storm. She's in Kenya in the comics when she's discovered by Charles Xavier to build the team. And you want to go a little bit more of her?
Yeah, I mean, her mom is a Kenyan princess. Her dad's actually an American journalist. She spends most of her life, I believe, in between Manhattan and Cairo. And yeah, I mean, like with the others, Xavier comes to her in a time of need and ends up recruiting her to go help out the team. She ends up being probably one of the more popular, well-known X-Men characters.
Yeah, her powers are really, really powerful. I mean, she can control the weather. That's
control the weather. Strong. She could fly because of her control of the weather. Her powers are not limitless, but she's pretty powerful. Strong. Yeah, she
has connections with Wakanda. She marries Black Panther in the comics. And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I personally struggled with this casting.
A lot of great actresses. Like we both agreed, they used a lot of them in Black Panther.
Coogler took them all for the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
But yeah,
any of them would be great.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, so my pick was, I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize. It's Yetide Badaki from American Gods.
The spelling will be down here. Yeah.
Yetide. I think she'd be a great fit. A couple other people that I thought would be good would be Anna Diop from Us. And then another Jordan Peele flick that I thought would be good would be Keke Palmer from Nope.
Yeah, no, I didn't consider that until you mentioned it to me earlier today. Yeah. Just for some background, Doug and I made a point to not discuss our fan castings ahead of time. We literally didn't know who we picked for any of these up until today, until our lists were solidified and we're locked into our picks. But I do like the idea of Keke Palmer. Again, I hadn't thought of her for the role, but when you mentioned it, I could see her definitely pulling it off.
Yeah.
I went with, to me, who is a much less known actor in Jodie Turner-Smith. I had seen that suggestion somewhere, so looked up some of her stuff. Specifically, she just did like a mini series, Anne Boleyn. She plays the lead in that series. And I definitely think she has enough power and strength behind her performance that she could pull off the role of Storm.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right, guys, for our final fan casting of today's video, we're going to be discussing probably one of the more popular X-Men and maybe one of the more popular superheroes in general. Wolverine, yeah. AKA Logan, AKA James Howlett, which I think is his actual real name. We finally discover years down the road. Yeah, man, he's just a beloved hero.
Canadian.
He is Canadian. His powers are pretty crazy. His healing factor, also because of his healing factor, he's able to have his adamantium skeleton and claws. Well, actually, we find out later on also that his claws were natural. They were actually
bone claw.
Yeah, bone claw, which he does get his adamantium ripped out of him for a while there and has bone claws. But yeah, I mean, beloved Hugh Jackman, right, from the Fox X-Men movies.
He would, of course, everyone would be happy if he came back, but
yeah,
we don't know that will happen. So
yeah, I'm gonna venture a guess and say no.
Probably not.
I think him and Patrick Stewart are officially done. I'm actually kind of surprised Patrick Stewart came back and did the little brief stint in Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, I think if Hugh Jackman came back, I think everyone would be happy. Yeah. No one would complain with that casting. But I'm personally ready to see some new casting there, man. Yeah, I'd like to see what someone else could do with the role. I definitely think he did well ultimately. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think Hugh Jackman was the excellent casting initially. Everyone was actually kind of upset when they cast him. This Australian dude, was he like 6'1" or 6'2"?
Something like that.
And although he did bulk up a lot later on, he was very lean.
He was lean.
Yeah, he was very lean. He was cut. He was super buff. Don't get me wrong, but he was very lean. So he really had to bulk up later on. Yeah, I mean, do you want to discuss who you wanted for this role?
Yeah, like all of them, I had a few different picks. So the first one I had was Cole Hauser from Yellowstone. I personally haven't watched it, but I heard it's a great show, and I've seen pictures of him in his cowboy hat, and it looks like he could easily pull off Logan. But he's 6'1", he's a little bit taller, so we'll see. Another popular fan casting would be either Carl Urban or Anthony Starr from The Boys. I've seen images of both of them. I think they both could pull off the role and be badass for sure. They're 6'1" for Carl Urban and 5'11" for Anthony Starr, so still a little bit taller. Logan's shorter, but it's hard to get a shorter actor to play that role. But the one I think I like the most is Milo Gibson, from Hacksaw Ridge, Mel Gibson's son.
Mel Gibson's son, yeah.
He's 5'9". He looks the part for sure, and I think he would do a great job. So.
Yeah. So I actually had Milo Gibson on my list for a long time. There is another person I had on my list the entire time with him, and that's ultimately who I chose. I'll go into it in a second. Yeah, man, he definitely looks like he could pull off the role. Sure. It'd be interesting to see him in that kind of role. I mean, his dad is probably one of the most intense actors, and if he's got some of that intensity of his dad, he could definitely pull it off. And I liked him because he fit the age I was looking for more, because I did want him to look a little bit older. Not old, but I mean, Wolverine's been around a while. He's seen some things, And I ended up going ultimately with a fan casting that's been real popular for some and really unpopular for others, and that's Daniel Radcliffe.
Harry
Potter, yeah. And that's the problem I run into, is the reason why I had Milo on my list for so long is because Daniel Radcliffe, he's so youthful still. And I have a hard time not thinking about him as Harry Potter, although he's done a lot of other roles and some really interesting roles.
Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man. Guns Akimbo? Guns Akimbo.
Yeah.
But was that on Horns? Like some really weird, like independent movie stuff.
And then another weird one he's doing. Weird.
Yeah, weird. And yeah, we'll discuss that a little bit too. But I think he could do it, man.
For sure, I think he could do it. But
I honestly think he's an amazing actor. I think he's got a lot of versatility. He's been really embracing these different types of roles. We'll put a few pictures in here for you guys to see of him. I mean, you see pictures of him a little while ago. He's pretty ripped. He's in good shape. He's definitely got the natural hairy body going. Mm-hmm. But if you see this other clip the other picture we'll drop in here, from the trailer of the Weird Al movie. Mm-hmm. And dude, he's getting buff.
Yeah.
And that trailer came out a while ago, so he's been building up, and Weird Al isn't buff.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's bulking up, but all I'm saying is,
he fits the height requirements.
Yeah.
He's definitely shorter.
He's definitely, I think, for sure the shortest one on our list of actors we have. Yeah, man, I'd like to see it. I think he can do it, and I think it would be fun. So we'll see.
Another person that I didn't have on the list per se, but I've seen a lot of fan castings for is Taron Egerton from Kingsman as well.
Oh yeah, that's been a real popular.
I think he could do
a
great job as well.
Yeah,
I will definitely wanted to touch on him, even though I do want to touch on him. I mean, cut that. No, I just wanted to touch on that subject, and I think he would be a good fit as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about him specifically because in an interview he talked about how he did meet with Marvel, but it turns out it was like a long time ago or several years ago, and it was actually for the role of Cyclops. And he shot it down because he doesn't want to do a role where his eyes are not exposed. He feels like that's a kind of a window to your soul type thing, and he didn't want to take on a role like that. He doesn't feel like you can convey enough emotion and things when your eyes are covered. And I get that. I could honestly see him doing, especially if they go with a slightly younger team, I could see him doing a Cyclops as well. I think he'd pull off that okay. But yeah, he's slightly on the shorter side as well. I believe he's not really tall. And I think he could definitely do it. I think any of those guys we mentioned.
Whoever they get to be Wolverine, they're going to have some big shoes to fill, but I think they're great with their castings.
Yeah, I personally, I love Carl Urban. I mean, the Star Trek movies, The Boys.
He's also in the MCU already, even though he died. But
who was he in the MCU?
He was a executioner.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was Hela's. I feel stupid now that this is being recorded. Me talking about that. Yeah, I should totally know that already.
Yeah, so he's been in the MCU, but I mean they've cast other people in different roles, so it's possible, and he's not alive anymore.
I mean he's a New Zealander, right? And he's like this almost the same exact height as Hugh Jackman, and I'm just like,
too much like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, too much like Hugh
Jackman.
Jackman.
But that might be a good fit though if everyone likes Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, but I mean I want to see something fresh and new.
For sure. Yeah.
I want to see someone step in, and honestly, for all of these, it could just be some person we've never heard of, and they could.
There's a lot of actors in shows and stuff we haven't seen.
Oh yeah, there's
a lot of these actors I don't even know. I haven't watched any of their shows, but they look the part.
There's so much content out there now. I have such a hard time staying on top of stuff and watching all the new stuff. There's so many up and coming actors, and so yeah, I'm sure they'll find someone. But I'm going with Daniel Radcliffe.
Nice. I'm gonna go with Milo Gibson. Let's see who's right.
Let's see who's right.
All right, guys, that wraps up our fan casting for the Giant Size X-Men video.
Go ahead and let us know how you feel about our choices, and be sure to leave your own picks down in the comments below.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
And have a marvelous day.
All right, guys, that wraps up our Giant Size X-Men fan casting video.
Go ahead and let us know how you feel about our picks, and also be sure to leave your own picks in the comments down below.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
And have a marvelous day. Yeah. You pointed, then I pointed.
Yeah, and you said picks twice in the same sentence. You said, this is how to think of our picks, and let us know your picks.
Okay. Yeah. Just pick and a pick and a pick.
Yep.
And pick and a pick.
All right, guys, that wraps up. All right, guys, that wraps up our Giant Size X-Men fan casting video.
Be sure to let us know down below how you feel about our choices. No, let's do it again. All right. I'm trying to think of a different word. I didn't want to say picks again too many times.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. I'm recommending Kiki Palmer.
Yes. Her name is the easiest to say, so she's my top choice now. Yudiki Badaki. Whatever. Yutidi.
All right, we're recording?
We've been recording.
All right. Woo!
Woo!
Okay. Did I jump into that too quick? Yeah. I just want to go for it. I just want to get in there. Just want to get in there and just do it. Like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. No?
Yeah, get good energy. Go.
Yeah. All right.
Go for
it. But I could say pretty much what I said, and then do you want to say anything? We do want to mention.
I'll say stick around.
In today's video, we'll be specifically covering the 1975 more popular characters from the Giant Size X-Men. Stick around. I wanted to say the more popular before I said the Giant Size more popular characters.
The more size. Jesus, the more size. The more giant sized popular characters.
Yeah.
I should have some claws pop out of my hand.
I'm all. More popular characters. Okay. Yeah, that was right. I was like, because I was going to say fan casting, but I said fan. We're going to talk about our fan who left the comment, and then I was going to say fan casting. I didn't want to do double fans. You can't have two fans.
We feel nice right now.
Yeah, that actually would be bad. mess with the sound probably though.
Stick around.
Stick
it up.
Stick. What?
It.
Okay.
All right.
How's that? Is that good? Hi guys. Wait, are you good? You were breathing. I didn't want to get you mid-breathe, mid-breath. Good. All right, guys. Thanks for I don't know why you threw me off. What are you doing over there? All right.
Quivering.
Today we'll be focusing on the 1975, slightly more. Oh, dang it.
You know, this is slightly more popular. Just the more popular. They're all more popular. They're not slightly more.
Some of the characters we care about and not the ones we don't.
You're thinking too much about it. Just say the more popular characters from the Giant Size X-Men.
All right.
Do you want to start reverse order, or do you want to do Storm first?
I mean, you like doing reverse order? That's cool. I like that. Alan Richardson. Richardson? How do you say that? Richardson? Richardson.
Just say it fast. And,
Alan Richardson.
okay.
Richardson.
Rich's son.
Yeah, I don't know if you've...
Never heard of him. Looks cool.
All right, so I'll roll into this one, yeah?
No.
All right, guys, so the next character we're going to be talking about is Captain America. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, let me do that again. All right, guys, for our final casting of the Giant Size X-Men, we're talking about probably one of the most popular X-Men, maybe one of the most popular superheroes in general in Marvel.
For sure.
Which is, of course, the only comic book company that exists.
To us. And anyone who's watching this.
Sorry, should I do it over?
Yeah, sure.